Hello, and welcome. Welcome to the Fit Over 40 Challenge Show, the #1 health and fitness show for those of us in the club. Yes, that's right, the 40 and Over Club. My name is Coach Dave, and I'm super excited to bring you another episode of the Fit Over 40 Challenge Show. And today, we're going to talk about something that I know pretty much affects everyone, myself included. So I'm really excited about doing that. And just in case, for those of you that are just joining the show, I want to welcome you. I want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen. And I hope that you really get something out of it. And if you do, please just do me a huge favor. Leave us a review, 5-star review if you like, and share it with somebody. Send me a DM. I'll give you all that contact info later. But would really appreciate that. And today, like I said, I'm going to talk to you about a powerful subject. There's a lot of different subjects that I think that are really powerful, but this one, I think it's really extremely powerful because it's talking about your limiting beliefs. One thing that I knew going into this year was if I was going to really level up, which is my theme for the year, I needed to get my mind right. I needed to really focus in on mindset. And listen, it's still a work in progress for me, okay? But I feel like that I'm starting to understand a little bit more about myself, and I'm starting to understand my limiting beliefs, okay? You know, these are those subconscious thoughts and beliefs that can have a major impact on your life and even possibly be holding you back from reaching your full potential in your dreams. Now, the saddest thing about this is that you might not even know you have limiting beliefs, or that they're getting in your way. Now, do you agree with me on that? Now, before I go in, again, let me just introduce myself a little bit. If you haven't been on here, I am a health and fitness coach. I've written a best-selling Amazon book, The Fit Over 40 Challenge, and it's on Amazon, so you can always pick that up. But I help busy moms and dads that want to change their lives for the better. And so I do that by helping them with their mindset, which we're going to talk about today, helping them with their nutrition, their habits, their goal setting, all that stuff. So if that's something that appeals to you, then reach out to me, and I'd love to help you. But let's go ahead and get back into this. And see, here's the thing. I watch clients struggle with this all the time. And like I said, I admit it to myself too. I battle them a lot. I go through periods of time. So this is talking directly to me too. That's why I think it's so powerful to talk about this today. But I don't think anybody grows up without at least a few of them. I know some of you guys are doing really well, but there could be still something deep within you that's holding you back. So we're going to explore more about that. See, a limiting belief is basically a subconscious thought that frames how you see the world, okay? So let me ask you this. Have you ever caught yourself thinking things like this? I never follow through. I'm not good enough. I could never do that. I always procrastinate. I don't know enough. I'm not motivated enough. I'm too shy. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't deserve it. And the list goes on and on and on. Now, these are all forms of limiting beliefs. So in many cases, we end up with these beliefs because when we were kids, our parents, our teachers, our loved ones, they wanted to keep us safe. But children are smart, okay? And are sometimes their active minds can internalize a warning about a real danger as a flaw within themselves. And, I don't take this lightly because I have 2 kids myself, and I think about it. And sometimes I'm like, oh man, I'm really dropping the ball here. But that's a totally different topic, totally different time. But they think that they aren't worthy of something. And so what happens is they're not capable of achieving a certain goal. And so on a basic level, like common sense warning is like, don't play in the street can become the world is dangerous. And if I get hurt, if I go too far from home, something's going to happen. So you see how kind of those little subtle things can really make a big difference as you get older. And, unfortunately in time, you might cut back on being adventurous and being brave enough to do something. It just becomes a fact of your life. It's those things over time that plays into this limiting belief factor here. And so here's a couple more examples for you and see what you think. Have you heard that money doesn't grow on trees? I know that I heard that as a kid. And it could make you think you're not worthy of abundance. That's one of my limiting beliefs that I've been focused in on changing in the last year is the scarcity mindset. Because when you get that sense that you're not worth, even though again this is subconsciously, you think you're not capable of earning a substantial income, so why are you even going to try? And I know that kind of sounds crazy, and some of you guys might be thinking, "Oh, that's not me. Maybe it's not the money thing, but maybe it's something else." So here's a couple more. If you ever struggled with learning new skills, or maybe you had older brothers or sisters who liked to tease you when you tried new things, you might even believe you aren't coordinated, so you avoid anything that makes you feel that way. See, these are just examples. They're not to cast blame at all. Like I said, we all have limiting beliefs, and every single one of us has them. Some of us recognize them, some of us don't. And again, I don't blame anybody for any of them. I don't go back and say, "Oh my gosh, it was my parents that didn't know." I don't do that, so I don't want you to take it that way. But as an adult, it's up to me to shed them, and it's up to you to shed them. You definitely owe it to yourself at least. And you can totally do it. All right? So here's one way to look at limiting beliefs that puts them in perspective and can help you shut them down. Okay? Have you ever been, let's say, using your computer and you notice it's getting really slow and bogged down, and it makes it hard to get anything done? Isn't that frustrating? Actually, my computer just did that the other day. But then you realize you've got way too many browser tabs, guilty as charged, or programs open, guilty as charged. You haven't restarted your computer in a while, and you haven't updated those apps you've been meaning to update. So maybe you're shaking your head right now. Has that ever happened to you before? I am notorious for that. I need to get better at closing down tabs I'm not using, restarting my computer, shutting it off. I always feel like, oh, I'm going to get back to that. I don't do want to shut that down. Again, sorry, I'm going on a tangent here, but maybe you can relate to me. But here's the point, okay? It's time to reboot your thinking and to shut down those limiting thoughts that are robbing you from reaching your potential. So you need a reboot, okay? But here's the tricky part. It's recognizing what your limiting beliefs are, especially if they're deeply ingrained. That's the hardest part right here. Folks, if you don't understand, if you can't recognize what some of your limiting beliefs are, then you're never going to be able to shut it down and restart. That's why you got to do a deep dive. You got to really start to think about what is holding you back from reaching your goals. The thing is that, you might be accepting this as basic facts of life. I mean, seriously, most people do. Now, again, you could believe you aren't athletic, or you aren't even attractive or aren't lovable. You might believe that you aren't smart or talented, that you never finish anything, that you can't remember anyone's name, that you don't have any willpower. The list goes on. Again, am I kind of getting into this where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to see a pattern here? The truth is, you might have even spent years proving those facts to yourself just because it's something you started to believe in many years ago when you were young. Now, I'm guessing right now you can think of at least one limiting belief you have. And If you're kind of coming up for a loss, I'm going to tell you, you have one. Now, whether or not you want to explore that, that's another choice. But I encourage you to spend a little time reflecting on what those might be for you. So that's your homework, okay? And once you've identified the biggest limiting belief holding you back, it's time to get to work to shut it down. First of all, every time you feel yourself slipping into that pattern, stop yourself. That's an old program you don't need anymore, okay? It's time to delete it, okay? That's the analogy, deleting it from the hard drive, all right? Now, it's also important to acknowledge the thought, recognize it as false, and move on. You can even laugh about it if you want. Like, caught you. That totally takes away its power. I know that sounds kind of maybe cheesy, but it does. It gets rid of it. You caught it. So, if you want to read a little bit more, author and self-development expert Jack Canfield recommends that you come up with a turnaround phrase. Okay? That's the opposite of your limiting belief. And you repeat it regularly. So, for example, if you think, I can't do anything right, so why even try? Okay, that's the limiting belief factor statement. Try this instead. You could list for yourself all the things you actually have done right and the successes you've achieved. I think that's the biggest thing. And going through my 2020 strategic roadmap that I did was when I start looking back, oh, did I really do anything? And then I look back and I'm like, I did. I actually, and it changed my mindset. It changed the way I looked at 2019. I got done more than I thought I did. I just had to go back and really think about it, okay? The most important part, though, out of this whole thing, okay, this is the most important thing, is actually recognizing those beliefs in the first place. Again, this is not something that's going to just happen right away, okay? But it will help you start to take away that power it has over you. Now, I hope this episode helps you start to think about your limiting beliefs. I hope it helps you overcoming them. And I hope they can play such a big, I hope that it will change because it can help play a huge role in your wellness and fitness and the quality of your life moving forward. So I appreciate you listening. Again, if this is something that resonated with you, something you want to explore more, maybe you need somebody to help you out, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can go to fitover40challenge.com/fitness coach. And I'd love to get on a call with you and help you out and get you started in the right direction. If you feel that this is something that could help somebody else, please share it with them, okay? DM me on Instagram. I'm at David S. McGarry. I'm on Facebook. Join our group, allabouthealthandfitness.com. It's a free Facebook group. Love to have you in there. We're all in there to support each other. Again, this is all about trying to help you make 2020 and beyond an amazing year, an amazing decade. So let's focus in on getting rid of those limiting beliefs. I appreciate you listening, and I look forward to talking to you again. This is Coach Dave.